Question 9. Suppose the distance in feet covered by a car moving along a straight road t seconds after starting from rest is given by the function f of t equal t squared minus 4. This function is a distance function. It's a t squared minus 4 feet. T is seconds. Calculate the average velocity of the car over the time interval. Now, 3 interval. First one from 12 seconds to 13 seconds. Second one from 12 seconds to 12.1 seconds. And the third one is from 12 to 12.01 seconds. And each one figure out the average velocity. Average velocity is f of t minus f of t1 minus f of t2 divided by t1 minus t2. It's just like a slope formula, similar to slope formula. The function value y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. Now x is t, so t1 minus t2. Function value y1, it's f of t1 minus f of t2. So this is a difference between f of t over difference over time interval, and get per seconds how many feet is the distance. So when we want to find out those 3 intervals, the average velocity. So first of all, we figure out each one. When t equals 13, you plug in f of t equals 13. F of 13 is equal to, t is 13. So 13 squared minus 4. 13 squared is 169 minus 4 is 165. So when t equals 13, the distance is 165 feet. Then 12.1, t equal 12.1, this one, 12.1. So figure out f of 12.1, and you plug it in. It's 12.1 t squared, plug in t, 12.1 squared minus 4. So this one you can use calculator and figure out is 142.41. That's when t equal 12.1. F of 12.1 is 142.41. And then figure out when t equal 12.01, which is this one, 12.01. F of 12.01, and t is 12.01, plug it in, get 12.01 squared minus 4. So you will get, it's 140, use calculator, 0.2401. And then figure out when 12, so it's f of 12, t equal 12, then get 12 squared minus 4. 12 squared is 144 minus 4, so get 140. So it's 140 here. And now you are going to figure out first interval from 12 to 13. 12 to 13. So you do f of 13 is 165 minus y change, minus 140. F of 12 is 140 over 13 minus 12. So you got 13 minus 12 is 1 seconds. 165 minus 140 is 25. So it is average velocity is 25 feet per seconds. So for this interval from 12 to 13 intervals. Second one is from 12 to 12.1, from 12 to 12.1. So you do f of 12.1 is 142 minus 41, 142.41, then minus 140, difference of function value over the time, 12.1 minus 12. 12.1 minus 12. So subtraction, got 2.41 feet. The time interval is 0.1 seconds. And divided, you move decimal point, 1 decimal digit. So move decimal point to the right, 1 position. Got 24.1 feet per seconds. Then the last one from 12 to 12.01. So it's 12 to 12.01. When t is 12.01, and the distance is 140.2401 minus, when t is 12, the distance is 140. So subtraction, and then you got 0.2401 feet over divided up by how many seconds? Is 12.01 minus 12 is 0.01 seconds divided. Since here has 2 decimal digits, so you move decimal point to the right 2 position, got 24.01 feet per seconds. That's we call average velocity. The next one is we call instantaneous velocity, and we use the instantaneous velocity, and it's going to be use this formula. Let's explain this formula. Instantaneous velocity, it's a limit when h approach to 0, and the f of t plus h minus f of t over t plus h minus t. It's just like a slope formula. Like if a curve like this, if t is here, and this is a distance, this is h, so this point is t plus h. And then over here, this point is t. This is f function, f of t. F of t. So it's f of t, this function. And the t plus h is over here, is this point is t plus h, f of t plus h point. And then secant line. Secant line is intersect with the curve at 2 points. We call secant line. Secant line slope is equals y change, f of t plus h minus f of t over x change, t plus h minus t. And here's t minus t is 0. So you will get it's f of t plus h minus f of t over h. This is the secant line slope. Then you go when h, if you take limit h approach to 0, limit h approach to 0, so that means this point, and you got a slope. This point, when t go approach to 0, become distance, the 2 points, distance becomes smaller, and the smaller is closer to t. And then you got slope is this one, this secant line slope. And h goes slowly go to approach to 0, then the point along this curve, you got this point with this point, and divided, you got this line slope we call average rate. This is we call average rate. When h approach to 0, finally approach to 0, finally is this point, and then this point is a touch, intersect with the curve at just 1 point, and that's become tangent line slope. This line tangent line slope. This line tangent line slope we call limit h approach to 0. This is a slope. when h approach to 0 become this point. At this point, tangent line. Tangent line is the line intersect with curve at exactly 1 point. That's tangent line slope. And tangent line slope we define, use this notation, f prime of t. So definition, f prime of t, derivative definition is tangent line slope. So that is we got definition. F prime of t is the slope of tangent line at point t. So is this limit h approach to 0 and t plus h. And for this one function is t squared minus 4. F of t is t squared minus 4. So t substitute by t plus h. This t substitute by t plus h. And so t plus h, got t plus h quantity squared minus 4. And minus f of t. F of t is t squared minus 4. And you need to put the parentheses. And then we remove the parentheses. So this t plus h squared minus 4 minus t squared. Remove the parentheses, minus change to plus, because negative times negative become plus. Then negative 4 add a positive 4 is 0. So remain t plus h squared minus t squared. Then use formula. The formula is a squared minus b squared equal to a minus b times a plus b. Now a use t plus h plug in. B use t plug in. So a use t plus h plug in. B use t plug in. A use t plus h plug in. B use t plug in. T minus t is 0. So get h. And t add t is 2t plus h. So here t plus h squared minus t squared equal a minus b, t plus h minus t, a plus b, t plus h add t. Simplify, t minus t is 0, get h. And the t plus t is 2t plus h. And denominator h. And limit h approach to 0. This is f prime of t. So this h with h cancel. And you got limit h approach to 0, 2t plus h. H is 0, plug in, and you got 2t. You got 2t. So f prime of t is 2t. Now question, this is what we call instantaneous velocity. If only this part, we call average velocity. When h approach to 0, take limit and become instantaneous velocity at 1 point. And this we use this notation, first derivative, f prime of t notation. So what is instantaneous rate? Actually, it's the average rate when approach to a certain point. At that point, at 1 point, we call instantaneous rate. And then this one is 2t. And question asks you when t equal 12. And because here you can see 12. When 13 to 12, 1 seconds, the velocity, average velocity is 25 feet per second. And then closer to 12, from 13 closer to 12, become 12.1 and to 12. And then velocity is 24.1 feet per second. And more closer, 12.01, closer to 12. The velocity becomes 24.01. So then you take limit. The two are closer to each other. The distance, h, difference, h approach to 0. Then the closer to 12. When at 12, that's what we call instantaneous velocity. You plug in here. T is 12, plug in, and get 24 feet per second. And originally is from 13 is 20 to 12 is the average rate is velocity is 25 feet, and closer to 12 between 12.1 to 12 the average velocity is 24.1 and then 24.0, and more closer at 12 velocity is 24 feet per seconds, and that's we call instantaneous velocity. And this is a definition of derivative defined by the slope. Then that's question. Then question 10. A, use definition of derivative f of x to find the slope of the tangent line to the graph of this function f of x equal negative 1 over x minus 1 at any point on the graph. So slope of tangent line, and just like what I said over here, and this curve from t to t plus h, and when h approach to 0, then and from this secant line to this secant line to this secant line finally touch just one point, and that's tangent line, and this is a tangent line, and that's become a slope. This is a slope of this tangent line, and also called instantaneous rate. So then use this definition of derivative f prime of x equal limit h approach to 0 function of x plus h minus f of x over h. Then equals limit h approach to 0. Denominator is h. Numerator x plus h, plug into the x, get negative 1 over this x replaced by x plus h, got x plus h minus 1, minus f of x. F of x is negative 1 over x minus 1. Then equal limit h approach to 0, denominator still h. Then numerator, you have to negative times negative become plus here. Then this 1 times by both sides. You have to find the two add together. You need to find LCD, this common denominator. This denominator is x plus h minus 1. This denominator is x minus 1. The two times together is the least common denominator. So you want to get this LCD, same denominator. So this first one, both numerator, denominator times by x minus 1, both sides. The second one, and you want to get this LCD. So second one, you do both denominator and the numerator times by x plus h minus 1. This, and you can cancel it, and you got back here. You cancel it, you got back here. So both sides times by x minus 1. For this, both sides times by x plus h minus 1. Now they have the same denominator, then numerator. You can add together. So become x plus h minus 1 times x minus 1 numerator. Negative, put the parentheses, x minus 1 plus x plus h minus 1 over h, so become here over h. Now remove the parentheses, get negative x, negative times negative is a positive 1, plus x plus h minus 1. Then 1 and the negative 1 add together 0. Negative x with x add together is 0. Only remain h. So then equal f prime of x equal limit h approach to 0. Only remain h on numerator, and denominator is still h times x plus h minus 1 times x minus 1. then cancel common factor h. So then become 1 over this, h cancel. Then h approach to 0. So 0 plug in and get 1 over x minus 1 and times x minus 1. So put is x minus 1 quantity square. So this is the tangent line slope at any point of this function on the graph of this function at any point. Now next B ask you use this result. Find the slope of tangent line to the function at point 2, negative 1. 2 is the x coordinate. Negative 1 is f of 2. F of 2. You can plug in here. 2 plug in. 2 minus 1 is 1. Negative 1 over 1 is negative 1. This f of 2 plug into function. Negative 1 over 2 minus 1 is negative 1 over 1, which is negative 1. So x is 2. Function value it's negative 1. So this point is 2, negative 1. Now, then, and figure out that at that point, tangent line slope. So slope m equals f prime of 2. F prime of 2 is tangent line slope. So it's 1 over this. We figure out f prime of x at any points is 1 over x minus 1 quantity square. So now is x is 2, plug in. So you figure out the slope, it's 1. At 2, negative 1, slope, it's 1. And C, find the tangent line equation at this point, at 2, negative 1. So since we already know the slope is 1, and you can use slope intercept form, y equal mx plus b, and 1 is the slope, and point x is 2, plug in, y use negative 1, plug in to figure out the b. And you can do y equals, slope is 1 times x plus b. And since this point goes through this point, x coordinate is 2, plug in. Y coordinate is negative 1, plug in. Get negative 1 equal 1 times 2 plus b. And then negative 1 equals 3 plus 2 plus b. And then minus 2 both sides. And get negative 3 equal b. And then plug into here, you got y equal x plus negative 3. So it's y equal x minus 3. And so this way is used, we call slope, y-intercept form to do. There's another way you can use slope point form to do, is y minus y0 equal m times x minus y0. M is 1. Y0 is negative 1. Go through this point. Y coordinate, negative 1. S coordinate 2. So plug into this point slope point form. Y minus negative 1 equals slope 1 times, put the parenthesis, x minus x coordinate 2. And then negative become plus, y plus 1 equal x minus 2. 1 times this is still x minus 2. Then minus 1 both sides. So get y equal x minus 3. It's the same answer as you do this way. This negative 3 plug in here. And you got y equal x plus negative 3, which is y equal x minus 3. So you can do either way to do. That's so from here you can see average. What is first derivative? Actually, is the slope of the tangent line. And for the velocity, it is actually instantaneous velocity. Then next question. Question 11. The management of Titan Tile Company has determined that the weekly demand function of their Super Titan tires is given by P is this is demand function. So P equal demand function is 148 minus x squared. P is price per tile. Demand function is decrease function. So when x increased, the price decreased. When you have a more demand, the price will decrease. It's measured in dollars. P is price per unit, per tire. And the x measured in 1,000 tires. X is in 1,000 tires. How many tires? So A, find the average rate of the change in the unit price of a tile. If the quantity demanded is between 5,500 to 6,600 tires. Another one is between 5,500 to 5,600 tires. Average rate of change, and or between 5,500 to 5,510 tiles, the three intervals. So first of all, we list out a table from the largest one to smallest one, from 6.5, because x has to be in thousands. So 6,500 is 6.5 thousand. So x is 6.5. And then go, the smallest one is 5.5. X is 5.5 thousand. And then next one is 5.6. 5.6 thousand. Next one is 5.51. 5.51 thousand. So we figure out 5.5, figure out 6.5, figure out 5.6, figure out 5.51. Each x, figure out the price, P, and plug in. So first one, you plug into this. So P equals F of x. X is 6.5, plug in. That equals 148 minus 6.5 squared. And use calculator, you can figure out is this, 105.75. Second one, price is equal F of 5.6. And equals, plug into the function, 148 minus 5.6 squared. And figure out is here, it's 116.64. The next one, price equal F of 5.51. And you got 148 minus 5.51 squared. And use calculator, equal 117. Figure out is 117.6399. And this one. Then next, price is equal F of when x is 5.5 thousand, 5.5. Figure out is plug in 148 minus x. X use 5.5, plug in, and you will get is 117.75. Is this 117.75? So you got this table. Now, first of all, you figure out the interval. First interval, 5.5 to 6.5. First interval. So it's this with this. So you do y change, price change from 105.75 minus 117.75. You got negative 12. Over 6.5 minus 5.5, 1,000. over 1. And you got is a net 12 over 1. So this is decrease. The price decrease is $12 per thousand. Decrease per thousand tires. Decrease by $12. And the next interval is from 5.5 to 5.6. From 5.5 to 5.6. So 5.6 is 116.64 minus 117.75. The difference is a net 1.11 over 5.6 minus 5.5, which is 0.1. And here 1 decimal digits. So move decimal point to the right 1 positions. Get net 11.1. So this interval is $, decrease by $11.1 per 1,000 tires. Per 1,000 tires. That is the units. Then next interval from 5.5 to 5.51. So from 5.5 to 5.51. So we do 117 minus 0.6399 minus 117.75, and you got negative 0.1101 over 5.51 minus 5.5 is 0.01. Since here is 2 decimal digits, so you move decimal point to the right 2 positions and get net 11.01. And in this interval, it's the tire will be the price. It's a decrease by $11.01 per 1,000 tires. Now that's we call average rate of change. Now when the number of tires closer to 5.5 thousand, at this point figure out the rate of the change we call instantaneous rate of change. Instantaneous rate of change is definition. Use derivative definition. F of x plus h minus f of x over x plus h minus x, which is h. So it's a slope formula. Y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. When they two closer to each other, that means h approach to 0. Then this closer to x. At x, slope become a tangent line because it touch the graph at one point. We call tangent line become slope of tangent line, and we call instantaneous rate of the change at point x. And use this symbol. This is define equal f prime of x. With this we call derivative. So what is derivative? Actually, is instantaneous rate of the change. Actually, it's slope formula when the point at that point. So equal to limit h approach to 0. Denominator still h. The numerator x plus h, you have to plug into the original function. 148 minus this x replaced by x plus h. And you got 148 minus this x replaced by x plus h, quantity square, minus what f of x. F of x is 148 minus x squared. And you need to put the parentheses. Then remove the parentheses. Limit h approach to 0. H is on denominator. 148 minus x plus h, quantity squared minus 148. Then remove the parentheses. Negative times negative become plus. Change the sign. Plus x squared. Then 148 minus 148 is 0. So remain limit x approach to 0. Denominator is still h. Numerator is positive plus x squared put first. Then minus second term x plus h quantity squared. Then factor it. Use the formula. A squared minus b squared equal a minus b. A is x minus b, x plus h. You need to put parentheses. And a plus b, x plus h. Then simplify. Remove the parentheses. This plus change to minus. So get x minus h. And this x plus x is 2x plus h. And then limit h approach to 0 and denominator is still h. Here x minus x is 0 and the minus h. So get negative h. This parenthesis 2x plus h. Then h with h common factor cancel. So you got it's a negative and put the parenthesis 2x plus h. Then h approach to 0. So h replaced by 0. So you got negative 2x. So f prime of x is negative 2x. Now question asks you, what is the instantaneous rate when x is a 5.5? 5.5. So 5.5, 5.5 thousand, and x is 5.5. Plug in x. So you got negative 2 times 5.5. You got negative 11. So the decline by negative, since it's negative, so it's declined by $11 per thousand of tiles. So you can see over here, between 5.5 thousand to 6.5 thousand per thousand decline by $12. And from 5.5 to 5.6 thousand per thousand decline by $11.1. And from 5.5 to 5.51 closer, gradually closer to 5.5 and decline by $11.01. So this from 12 to 11.1 to 11.01, finally at 5.5 is a negative 11, decline by $11 per thousand tiles.